Welcome to This Week in 2016 Presidential Polls, where we look past the horse race to the numbers that really matter. Here's the polling news that you need to know for the week ending July 3rd. Now, this was a light week with the national poll from CNN and ORC and Iowa polls from Quinnipiac being the big newsmakers. The main takeaway from this week's national poll is more evidence that national security will play a bigger role in the GOP nomination contest than it will on the Democratic side. 54% of Republican voters say terrorism is an extremely important issue in the 2016 race, compared to just 43% of Democrats. However, there is no significant partisan difference in the importance of health care or the economy. Quinnipiac's poll of Iowa Democrats shows Bernie Sanders doubling his support from 2 months ago. Hillary Clinton still has a sizable lead, but with Joe Biden potentially getting into this race, things could get hairy quickly. We'll stay tuned on that front. On the Republican side, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker is the nominal leader, but he has less than 20% of the vote in Iowa. And the next 7 candidates are all bunched together in the margin of error. As usual, the better indicator of a candidate's potential strength are the underlying fundamentals. The poll tested 6 contenders on the trust metric and found that Mike Huckabee scores at the top of the list with 83%, while Jeb Bush trails, although still with a solid 60%. This suggests that the former Arkansas governor has ample opportunity to grow from the current 5% support he gets in the horse race question. And of course, we also have to look at the primary indicator of candidate strength, the net favorability rating. On this metric, Walker and Ben Carson top the list. It's also worth noting that Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal does much better on this metric in Iowa than he does nationally. And that's partially because he is better known among Hawkeye State Republicans. Among the candidates toward the bottom of the list are Jeb Bush, who ekes out a +4 rating, which is actually an improvement over the -6 rating he earned 2 months ago. Donald Trump has a narrowly negative -5 rating among Iowa Republicans. This is significantly better than he is doing nationally. And at the bottom of the list is Christie, with an abysmal -34 rating, despite his many visits to Iowa earlier this year. And speaking of Christie, the New Jersey governor is the latest candidate to throw his hat into the ring, but he's not all that popular back home. A new poll from Monmouth University finds that New Jerseyans would not give their governor a glowing recommendation on his current job search. Just 27% of state residents say Christie would make a good president, 69% say he would not. While most Garden State Republicans feel their governor is presidential material, it's worth noting that fully 4 in 10 of his home state partisans disagree. In a hypothetical matchup with Hillary Clinton, the Jersey native comes out on the losing end of a 49% to 32% vote. Now, I know those numbers don't mean anything at this point, but it's worth noting that the only person who ever won the White House while losing his birth state and state of residence was James K. Polk back in 1844. That's your presidential fun fact for this upcoming July 4th weekend. Enjoy it. And those are the highlights and lowlights of this week in 2016 presidential polls. Until next time, I'm Patrick Murray from the Monmouth University Polling Institute.